I'm Thomas, I'm a student in political science and I'm a member of EQUIPE CREATIVE.
Hello, I'm Antonin, I'm studying filmmaking in Strasbourg and I am a member of EQUIPE CREATIVE.
So today we will interview Andyax, a film director and a YouTuber from Oslo in Norway. Hi Andyax, thanks for having us and thanks for accepting our invitation. So first, for every person who doesn't know you a lot, doesn't know your work, your universe, how came you interested in cinema and what were your first very projects?
How I become a filmmaker? Yeah. As many others, I think it started with just having, testing out filmmaking when you were young, living at your parents' home. I tested my father's camera, and fell in love with the way you can make your own filmatic worlds using a film camera and edit. So it started by borrowing my father's old tape camera, which was not digital. So I had to cut on this little mixing table. It was really, old-fashioned. And then I attended film school when I was 18, and I directed my first feature film when I was 21. I was asked by one of the teachers at the film school to direct a feature film, which was screened all over Norway in the cinemas and was sold on Blu-ray and DVDs. It was a crazy project. So I was very lucky with that. And then it won some awards, so really nice time for me. And then I actually fell a little bit back to making YouTube videos, which was something I've been doing since I started making films as a 16 years old. And I made more YouTube videos again because I've found even more, even more happiness in making YouTube videos, maybe. Yeah, then because in a full feature film you have many people, so much about money, economy. You have to pay everyone, which can then kill some of the creativity, I believe. So making YouTube videos is something I really like. So that's what we're doing now, and also making commercials, of course, to get enough money to live as a filmmaker.
And it's more personal, as a matter of fact, to make videos on YouTube for your YouTube channel?
Yes, so there's we started a production company 2 years ago, or almost 3 years ago, called Views. VJUS is a Norwegian way of saying views, and I gathered some of the friends I met during my time as a filmmaker, and we gathered together. We are 7 or 8 now, I believe, and found an office. And now we're making professional commercials here in Norway to earn some money, and also YouTube videos on our channels. Yeah.
Okay, fine. So you come from Norway, and people don't necessarily know a lot about your country's type of living. What your country brought specific for your cinema methods, for your vision on cinema, on arts?
So is the question about how the Norwegian cinema films are different from others?
Yeah, yes. If there is a difference between Scandinavian cinema and
I think the Scandinavian films and the directors making Scandinavian, or directors from Scandinavia, often choose to have this more of a mystical, maybe a bit dark humor types of films they like to make. While the American movies and even in Bollywood and Hollywood often are more exaggerated, more colors and more action and drama. While in Scandinavia it's probably a bit more, as I said, mysterious and almost like there's not a lot of colors. It's more like gray and low saturation. So I think, but we're getting more and more. I think we started to make more and more films like Hollywood and stuff because we also had technology to do it without having a big studio. So we're getting, I think the whole world actually is getting more and more closer to each other when it comes to the way the films look now. But there's still a lot of mysterious, almost black and white films from Scandinavia. So it's a bit different. Also, of course, we use the nature a lot, the Scandinavian landscape, the mountains. But it's interesting. It's interesting to see cultures in the different types of movies that are made all over the world. And
is there a sort of hierarchy you made in your task for a film? You think more about the lighting, or you think more about the story? There is for you a sort of priority in an aspect?
I see. That's a good question. You know, I usually work as a director. I'm also shooting. I do cinematography and also editing. I don't do that much sound, but I know how it works. So sometimes I also do the sound design and stuff. I believe, first to just say one thing, a tip, is that if you want to become a filmmaker, you should try all the aspects. Like you should try lighting, you should try sound, you should try... Because then as a filmmaker or as a director or producer, you know more of the overall way of producing a film. So when you're making a film, and let's say you have a sound designer on set, you know what that person is doing because you have already tried sound. So I think trying a lot of aspects is good. When it comes to me myself, what I focus the most on as a director, I believe is the lighting and the acting. Okay. And the sound, of course, it's important, but on set, I believe that the person on set doing the sound will be able to get clear and nice sound. Okay. So lighting and the acting, and also the editing, which is really important. So those are maybe the aspects I like the most to focus on. Yeah.
What are your ways to build up the rhythm and the musicality of your films? Is music necessary to your workflow, or is it during making the story that you establish every variation of emotion and rhythm, or is it more something like that you visualize during the shooting or the montage part?
When it comes to the music, it's very often it depends on the project. If it's a big project and we involve our composer Thomas Leipold, we often talk beforehand. So when we write the script, we come up with ideas. He's already starting working with the music because then he can get involved very, very early on in the script writing and try to together we can try to develop kind of a soundtrack or some kind of audiovisual theme of the whole idea. But when it's let's say it's a commercial or a short video which we don't have much time to make music for, I often use royalty-free music or buy music online. And like Epidemic Sound, which we use a lot, you can find a lot of songs. And I think I don't think too much about the music when we film and everything. Then I think more about acting and lighting and all that stuff. And then I know there's songs out there, or even Thomas can create anything that will lift everything up. So mostly the music is kind of focused on in the editing. But if we can start making music in the pre-production, that's of course beneficial. Yeah. So
the priority for you is more about ways about the acting, for the rhythm, for the variation, for the climax, also everything.
Yeah. So I believe it's important when you're shooting a film. It's that, or at least for me, that I know we get the shots that I know we can. You have to think a little bit about the editing when you shoot. A lot of the rhythm, the pace, the build-up is done in editing. But you need to know when you shoot a film that you have the material you have to be able to build that up, the drama. So on set it's important to just know that, oh, now I got the shot, I know I can use this for the build-up, and then you go to the next shot and you know that, okay, this is good for before the builds up. And you know, filmmaking is often about getting at this dynamic drama. So if your whole film is really action all the time, a lot of music, a lot of drama all the time, it might you might lose your how to say it, you might lose the audience after a while because they get tired of all the action all the time. So it's nice with contrast to build up your story. So when you have silence, maybe without any music at all, because I think maybe people are using too much music in their films. They think it's just positive to have music everywhere, but you need to have contrasts. So if you really want a music to get an impact, maybe you should try to not use the music, let's say for some scenes, and then when you really want it to kind of hit the audience, then you introduce the music. So it's a contrast of the scenes which didn't have the music. So it's all about having the contrast, the dynamic way of building up your story, and not use, how to say it, the music and the drama the how to say it, the all the action all the time, but have some calm scenes and then the action scenes to create the dynamic feeling, which makes the audience, you bring the audience with you in the film when you have this dynamic way of telling the story.
Okay.
Okay. As a filmmaker, many times I was working for months on a project with good actors, good filming sequences, with an almost achieved edit, but something was wrong. Therefore, I thought about my story, changing some scenes and filming again, etc. How do you deal with the possible adjustments and the deadline you fixed up? Are you more the large deadline to make adjustment type, or you rather extol to the virtues of a short deadline which force to deal with the means at hand and to urge your creativity and your choices? How do you deal with perfectionism?
Yeah, that's a good question. You know, I think I realized that I'm a perfectionist, so I very often wanted to be the way I thought. But I learned during my filmmaking career that it's almost impossible to get it exactly as you wanted. So, especially when you want to make, let's say, a commercial, let's say you want to make a TV commercial or something, and you have a deadline, you need to deliver it within a date. I think having this little restrictions and the challenge that you have to deliver it within a date makes you look at your project like, okay, what's the most crucial things to create? So and it's very easy if you don't have a deadline. You can just sit there and you can fix everything as long as you want, and suddenly use the whole day just to find the right font for your film, like the title. You know, some things aren't that important for the audience. They won't know if you I don't know, added a little bit of shadow on the title or not, or maybe you had a little sound effect, used maybe a whole day to try to find a little sound effect that you thought would be perfect. You know, there's so many things that the audience wouldn't even know that was there. So you should try to figure out what's the skeleton of my film, what's the most important, and then what's the next most important, and then see that you need a solid film that has a story. Of course, that's the most important. Have a good story, and also, yeah, see if do the small details at the end. Don't wait with all the details until when you know you have time to do it, and ask others, like show your films to others, and like, is there something you don't understand? Is this good enough? Yeah, and also I had a problem when I made a film and I was showing it to my client, and often, you know, and it was just a draft, and I wanted to say that, you know, I still miss to do this, I still miss to do this, don't think about that, blah, blah, blah. But sometimes just don't say that, because very often they don't see what is missing. So instead of giving you a lot of extra work, because if I said, don't think of, I haven't added, I don't know, I haven't added, I wanted to add a rainbow VFX in the background, I haven't done that yet. If you say that, and then they're like, oh, you wanted to add that sounds nice. But if you don't say it at the meeting, you just show the film, and they're like, wow, this is so good. Maybe you don't need to make that VFX rainbow thing that you were thinking about. And then you save a lot of time, because they are happy. Why should you make the rainbow that you were thinking about, which maybe takes a lot of days to make? So, yeah, try not to say too much about the film when you show it. Just say it's a draft, here it goes, and see what they say about it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's something about show to people that you're sure of your project, that you know what you want. There's something about it now.
Yeah, just make the client trust you, and that you know what you're doing, and yeah. But of course, listen to them. Listen to what other people have to say, and just bring with you the things you agree on, or just at least think about what they're saying. If they say this film is shitty, blah blah blah, that doesn't give you anything. So, but if they say, I didn't like the scene, the scene number 4, I didn't like that, and then they don't know why, but you maybe could check it out and see if there's, yeah, ask them what do you think, what did you like, and yeah, just try. But you shouldn't you shouldn't just listen to everything. Like you should also trust yourself that you are a filmmaker that know what you're doing. Yeah.
Okay, so art is probably the sphere where personal causes, personal interests are confronting to wider causes, wider interests like environment, etc. So, is there something like a duty or an intangible limit you imposed to your work to transmit some messages to people or something else? And if so, is it something which feed your creativity, your passion of cinema, of realizing a movie?
Yeah, I think one of the things that really makes me passionate about filmmaking is that you can tell your stories and really impact the audience. You know, one thing is to make an entertainment and make people laugh and feel good, but also to send them a message is a really that makes filmmaking so interesting. And I think also what makes your films unique, you know, what makes everyone separate from others is that they tell their own story and they do it on their own way. So I think it's really important that, like, I don't see a lot of films. I haven't even, the last series I saw was Lost, the Island series, many years ago. I don't watch movies, and I think that's also makes me a bit, you know, and people ask me, why don't you watch movies? You should get inspired by other movies. But I say, no, I get inspired by other stuff. The things that are happening in my real life, things at home, things when I'm traveling to my work, there's things happening all around me that I get inspiration from. So I think it's important that people, maybe at least for me, I think it's important to not look too much at others' work, but to try to see what is actually, what do I want to tell, and don't be afraid of showing it and experiment and test things out, because actually there's no rules in filmmaking. You can do whatever you want. There are some rules to help you, like what kind of shutter angle, what kind of exposure and everything, but there are no rules. So follow your own way and yeah, test things out. I like that. That's yeah, important.
Okay.
Okay. Have you secretly a preference for a type of scene, a type of story or atmosphere in your projects, like opening or ending scenes, discoverings of characters, intimacy, sad story, etc.?
Sorry, that is typical for me.
Yeah. Is there something that you prefer to filming? Sad story, happy story?
Yeah, I think one of my film teachers, she said that if you can make the audience laugh and cry in the same film, you have come far. So I really like having a mix of both humor and, of course, I like the nostalgia, and like also I like mysterious films. I think more. I once there's one guy that asked me, Anders, which kind of Hollywood directors are you most like? And I think maybe I'm a mix of three types. It's M. Night Shyamalan, who makes like a mysterious films. You have to think a lot and about the woods and everything. And maybe Steven Spielberg when it comes to adventure and characters and, you know, the adventure. I really like adventure. So mysterious, adventure, and also when it comes to humor, I know some Norwegian actors I really like when it comes to humor, but I also maybe a little bit Michael Bay when it comes to creating the cinematic look, which is always fun to do. But yeah, I think I really like humor and adventure and mysterious films. So maybe that's the genres I like the most. Yeah.
So now short film remains the less known and unrecognized part of cinema industry. And how can short films could have more importance in the society where the interest for this kind of expression is not very there? Is the problem in the subject they treat, or a problem of spreading of the format of that short film?
Yeah, so you know, for short films are often a good way to make a fictional film without using too much money. And I think you know, now in Norway, for example, if you want to make a short film, The only place you can show it in the cinemas, it's on the film festivals, and then you have to be accepted, so it might be hard sometimes to show a short film. Luckily, we have YouTube, we have Vimeo, there's online platforms where you can show your films, and there are a lot of film festivals in the world as well. Yeah, I think I actually asked one of the people in the Norwegian culture administration about how can we showcase more of our short films in Norway, because maybe like there should be on the TV, for example. Let's say if we could have on Fridays an hour with maybe 3 short films made by Norwegian filmmakers, because short films, again, it's an easy way to create films, fictional films, without spending too much money. And also short films can be really good. You can, even though you only have a 20-minute film, you can impact a lot of people. So yeah, I think I would say that luckily we have YouTube to show short films, and we have film festivals, but I would like to see even more maybe TV stations or cinemas to open up and show short films as well. But I know it's hard, that's not a lot of people that, let's say, are going on a date with their girlfriend and they're like, oh, let's go and watch a short film because it's so short, So I understand why it can be hard to show it in the cinema as well, but yeah, I agree, it should be other ways as well to show the short films.
Yeah, but that's something very terrible in that case, because we know, for instance, you directed movie and you direct movie also, and we know that there's something so much important for a director to pass by short films, to make good, more long films. And there's something very sad when you know that our short films could be completely forget by people in the time, and there's just the monopoly on the long format. There's something very sad in it, don't you think?
Yeah. Sorry, I lost you a bit there, but yeah, I think it's more people have the opportunity to make short films. So having more stories out there through short films is good. Yeah.
So you just talk a little bit about film festivals, but I wanted to know what's your experience with film festival and other type of cinematic contrast. Does it have brought something new for your upcoming projects, a different vision of your work as a video and filmmaker, or maybe even a professional new direction?
I think the best thing with film festivals, which I experienced, is that you get to meet a lot of people. Yeah. I think having when you have a homepage and you have if you get some awards, that's also good, of course. You can show that on your homepage. But the most important, I believe, is to be able to show your film to other people and meet them at the film festival. There's so many film festivals out there, and some are really not bad, but they are really small, where there's, how to say it, I remember I had the film that was shown on a really small film festival in Norway, and I went to the film festival and it was only 4 people there, and we won this award, which could be easy to just add on your homepage, but it didn't. It was so small that no one knew about it, and I don't know, it wouldn't probably get me any new jobs because it was so small. But many film festivals are really big and great, where you can meet other filmmakers and get new connections. I think that's one of the most important thing with film festivals.
It allows us to ask another question. For what cost could you stop your YouTube channel, for instance? Could something like the opportunity to realize an international major movie make you stop your channel? What to choose between the ability to create and live by it, and the ability to teach to others cinematic techniques and making short movies on a YouTube channel, for instance?
That's a good question. Let's say if I was asked to travel 2 days in another country to make a Hollywood movie, and of course it would be hard to make YouTube videos. I think the thing that made me really You know, one thing I experienced making a feature film, and I know it's a lot of work, it's a lot of bureaucracy, because you have all the papers, you have all the people, distributors, producers. There's so many people and like so much money that I think it's sometimes too much. On the YouTube channel, on the YouTube channel, we had, when Eskil, our friend, passed away, we received so many messages from people about them getting inspired, that they they found more happiness in their life because of our videos, and there's so many really good messages we received, which made me think that, wow, we are actually affecting more people than I knew. Because you have, of course, some people are commenting on the videos, some people are following us, but there's so many people that doesn't show in the comments that they appreciate the videos. So yeah, when he passed away and we received all the messages, I was like, shit, we need to continue this. We need to continue the channel because it spreads so much positivity. That's at least what the followers said. So let's say I was asked to make a feature film and I wanted to make it. Maybe I would try to create short videos from the shooting, like have someone to film during the shooting, where I can maybe explain what we were doing, and it could also be a little nice PR for the film. So try to combine it then, maybe.
Thank you. Now is the time for your free section. What would you want to add about your country, about a music you like, about a film you about to release soon, everything you want?
Yeah, I know there's so many filmmakers out there. There's like all over the planet, and I know that many people, they are like telling themselves that I want to become a filmmaker. That's my dream. That's what I want to work with my rest of my life. And the thing is that the competition is so big out there. There's so many people that want to make films. And I'm 32. Filmmaking is the only thing I've been doing my whole life, except being a football referee for 2 weeks when I was young. But filmmaking is the only thing I've done. And it's still hard. It's still like you have to work many late days, and yeah, it is hard. So I think a message to all the people that want to become filmmakers is to start doing it as a hobby, and of course do it as much as you can when you have time to do it, and put things online, like on YouTube, to show other people, see if you can get feedback and recognized on YouTube, and also send your films to film festivals and try to spread it and meet people. And then if you do this on an early stage, you can see, is this something that actually can give me a lot of connections? Because if you want to survive in the film industry, I believe connections is the most important. So when you start to get connections by going to film festivals and making videos for your... I made a lot of commercials for my friends' parents. Like they had a company and they asked me to do it for a really cheap price, but I did it when I was young, and I get more and more connections. So I believe it could be a good idea to not invest all your time and all your money to just do, to start filmmaking. I think it's good to just try in the little, not use too much money on equipment, but use what you have and take it a little bit step by step. Because I have friends that they didn't study because they want to do filmmaking, and now they are sitting there. Like now the corona hit Norway, they are sitting in their apartment and then they don't have a job. All their jobs were cancelled and they don't know where to go to now to get money. So it's good to have the dream of becoming a filmmaker, and you should do it as much as you can, but also try to think that it's a big competition. It's actually something that people need more of. Yeah, that's kind of the realistic way of thinking, I believe. And also, of course, check out our series, Making a Film Company, where I try to explain how we managed to create a production company that goes quite well today. And follow your own way of making films and follow your own way of doing things. Don't copy too much. And you don't need to see films to make films. I don't look at films, but I make films. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, and the pleasure to talk to you again soon.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to talk with you guys, and hopefully you learn something new. Or yeah.